Hello, hi, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. You know what I was thinking the other day as I was getting ready for my day? I was thinking I haven't filmed a really good themed makeup. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm going to film a fall look for you friends. It's not very fally where I am. It is warm and you can almost say hot. I am in Florida and it is not fall-like, but I do love fall. It is one of my favorite seasons and fall looks are definitely my faves. So before I go into this look, I want to say hello. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you joined me. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And let's get into this look. Let's begin. I'm going to start off with this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer only because I feel like I want a primer. I go in with a very small amount of it, like a pea size, and I only put it where the pores are, obviously, you know. That's where the primer goes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with something different for me. I'm going to start with my eyes first because I want to put a little bit of a concealer on my little dots and spots, and I want it to sufficiently dry before I put foundation on. And that's a trick I kind of picked up from Michaela. If you know who I'm talking about, you know. Hopefully it works if there is sufficient enough time for the stuff to dry. Okay. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started breaking out, like as if I am a little kid. Oh, speaking of, I'm going to go in and put some concealer on my eyes before I go in with my eyeshadow. Okay, and the concealer I was using is the Estée Lauder Double Wear. I actually need it in a lighter color. And I think I'm going to pick that up during the sale. So for now, I'm just going to work on my eyes and I'm going to let the concealer around my spots dry. Okay. For my palette today, I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes in Natural. This is the palette. We've seen it. We all love it. Only because I feel like the greens and the mauves give it a little bit of a fall look. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the concealer with this. Actually, you know what? I want a little bit of a lighter set because this is more of a bone yellow color. And I wanted a little bit of a lighter color. So I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Mini Eye Sculpt palette. That is another palette that is in my Sephora sale recommendations. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to just set my eyes a little bit with that. I've gone ahead and also done my eyebrows off camera. All right, now that my concealer is set, I'm going to start off with this color right here. It's a number. And I'm going to put that in my crease. And I wanted to kind of go all over the crease because I have hooded eyes, so I need the crease color to be very high up in my brow bone. Okay. Okay, now that my crease color is in, I want to start deepening the look down. I'm going to go in with this one right here. So if you're looking at the palette like this, it's going to be this one. And now this is going more precise into the crease. And I'm putting it more towards my middle of my eye. And I'm still pulling it out because I do like a little bit of a cat eye effect. And then I'm gonna go back into the first brush we used and just sort of blend everything into the original crease color. And I'm gonna go in and deepen that until I'm happy with the result. Blend, blend, blend. That is the secret to every good eye look, is blending. Blend, 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 blend. Now that I'm happy with how this color worked out, I'm going to go in with the one under it. It's a little bit of a deeper brown, and I'm just going to concentrate that in the inner corner. Outer corner. I'm gonna use a more tapered brush. It's not so much deeper than the color before that, but just gives it a little something. And now I'm gonna use this brush that we used for the second color to blend out this one. And I'm going to, again, deepen it to my satisfaction. And if you could just take a look to that at the technique that I'm using. Baby. Aww. Levi, you're okay, buddy. He was dreaming about something. Poor guy. Okay. The technique that I'm using, I just want you to I take this brush and I put it on its like kind of angle, and I just go and I pull it up from the lash up. And it sort of creates like a wing, but not really a wing. But it really just goes where I want it to go, if that makes sense. I just literally put it in the outer corner like a cat eye, if that makes sense. I don't go like that. I don't put it in the, I just put it put the brush at an angle, and I touch the lash and I pull up, I pull up, I pull up like that. And then I go in and I blend it out. And if you need a little bit of the original color, that's okay too. Blend, blend, blend. All right, friends, that part of the eye is done. I'm going to deepen it a little bit after I'm done with my sparkles. And you know, I cannot go without a sparkle. And I'm going to use, I want to make sure you guys are these two green ones. And I'm going to also use this little sparkle. So these three right here. And I'm going to start off with the brighter green. I'm gonna use my finger for that because I feel like I'll get a better payoff, and that's going to go in the outer corner to the center. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to go in with the second green color, and it's a little bit more lighter, but also a little bit of a different tone. Okay. And I'm kind of blending the two together with my finger. And last but not least, I'm going to go in with the bright yellowish color, and I'm just gonna put that in the center. And I feel like maybe I want to use a brush with a little bit of a spray to intensify the look. The sparkles are definitely not as intense, or I don't want to say as good. They're less sparkly, if that makes any sense, than his first palette. I still love this palette, don't get me wrong. I'm using a little bit of what is this called? Fix Plus, to go in and intensify the look a little bit. Yes, that definitely helped a little bit. So I'm going over I went over the first green. Now I'm gonna go over the second green. Ooh. And then the gold. Okay, yes. That definitely helped it a little bit. And then I'm gonna go in and do the gold. Make sure I don't have any residual colors on there. Oh yes, that definitely helped it out. And then just blend everything together. Like that. Okay, both eyes are on, and I'm happy with the amount of sparkle. Now I want to go into the darkest one and just deepen up the outer corner. And what I'm doing is the same thing. I'm laying my brush at an angle and sort of kind of like pulling up a little bit. I'm just deepening it out in the outer corner. And I'm gonna blend, blend, blend. That is important. That's about as deep as I want it. I want a little brightness under the brow, so I'm going to go in with this color right here. It's the first one. It has a little sparkle, but it's the brightest color in the palette, and I just want it under the eyebrow. And I do appreciate a sparkle. And I just think it makes a world of a difference with helping the darker part of the eye stand out. See? No brightness, brightness. Okay, the eyes are done for now. We're going to step away to do our face. And I think everything is dry sufficiently, I don't know, but we will, somebody's texting me all the time. We will use the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. Remember, mine is an N7, and I really like this foundation. So I will go ahead and just, I didn't blend the concealer underneath. I'm just going over it with the foundation, and I'm going on my ear. And I'm not putting any foundation under the eye because I don't want to add extra layers of makeup under there. Okay. And I like to use a beauty blender for this one. I feel like that's a perfect applicator for this foundation for me. You will need to set this foundation, friends. It says it's self-setting, but unless you are a robot and your face completely doesn't move, which it does happen, you will need to set the foundation. If you are oily, I guess, but I set everything. I'm kind of dry and I still need to set my foundation. So there's that. It matches my neck completely, and I'm absolutely in love with this foundation. My mirror is right here. I think Natasha Denona did a great job. Okay, let's go in with the concealer, and I want to put on the Power Fabric from Giorgio Armani. I have it in 3. Actually, I'm going to mix these two. This one is 2 and 2N, and I feel like it might be just a little bit too dark for me right now. So I like to add a little bit of the lighter shade. And I'm just honestly using up all my concealers because I have a lot. And I don't want to have a lot. I want to just have what I love. I mean, I do love the Power Fabric concealer, but I like the Double Wear better. So let's go ahead and blend this concealer out. And I love to use a beauty blender for this because I feel like it picks up extra product and doesn't really make your face look super cakey. You know what I mean? I did want to mention that I cleaned up a little bit under my eye. There was a little bit of fallout of the glitter and whatever. I cleaned it up with a little bit of micellar water, and I made the corners kind of sharp, but I will be putting some color underneath the eye, and I will be blending all of that in. So I think the foundation looks amazing. For my cream bronzer today, I will be using my Merit, which is almost done, friends. It's almost done. I have very little left, but I love, love, love this bronzer. And I'm going in, this is the Merit, in case I didn't mention it, the Merit cream bronzer in Cien Bronzer Balm. And I love it. And remember, this is where my cheekbone is, and I go way above that because I do not like my bronzer to go down my cheek. And I take it all the way up into my hairline because I don't like to have a different color hairline. I know, I have all these rules for myself, but that's just me. And I really like to blend that really well with the foundation and the rest of my face because I like to have a little bit of a seamless look, I guess you could say. But listen, when you wear makeup and you like to wear a lot of makeup, you're gonna see that you're wearing makeup. There's no ifs, buts, or coconuts. It's happening. You know what I mean? So it just depends on how much it bothers you that you could see your makeup. You know what I mean? There are days where I want to have a very minimal look, but most days when I'm wearing makeup, I like a lot of makeup. Plus, you know, I'm older. And I can't get away with the no makeup look. You know what I mean? There are things that need to be covered. Okay, and now I'm gonna go back into my beauty blender and just kind of go over everything. Like that. Okay, for my cream blush today, did I even take a cream blush? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, but I took a Patrick Ta blush, and we all know that it has a cream and a powder, and he does his blush with powder first and then cream. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face before we put on any blush. Set my face, I'm going to be using 3 powders. Well, to set my face, I'm going to use 2 powders, and to chisel out my face, I'm going to be using 1 powder. I'm obsessed with these guys. There is nothing else like it besides the Givenchy that they no longer make. But these are my favorites. So I'm going to use the pink one under the eye. I still have the pink Givenchy original formula. I'm not gonna use that because you can no longer get it. So I use it when I don't really film videos, but I just want to use it up. This powder right here, did I even tell you what it was? It's the L'Oreal Infallible Blur Fraction powder, and I have mine in light pink and translucent. And I am absolutely in love with this powder. It blurs like magic. It beats out any other high-end powder. I don't think I am ever going to use another high-end powder as long as this is around. Unless they bring the Givenchy powder back, and then we'll talk. But just to show you how much I love it, that's all I have left. I actually need to buy a new one, and I've only had it for like a month. So you know how much I like it. I like it a lot. It is such a beautiful, it blurs like magic. I've never used the Huda powder, but I heard people comparing it to that. To me, it's very comparable to the Givenchy. So, look at that. I look like I have a mask on. But that's the look I was going for, friends. And hold on, don't fret, my pets. I have a secret weapon for the mask. It's because the powder is very good and it's blurring. Like, you cannot see a pore on my face. That's how good this powder is. I mean, I could sing its praises all day, you know. I love it, but let's go in and use a good old Fix Plus to get rid of the powdered look. I'm gonna wait for it to dry before I go in with my powdered bronzer and blush and whatnot. The skin is skinning, friends. Okay, I want to put a little bit of a contouring powder, and I haven't used this one in forever, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't know, I saw somebody use it on a video here, and I was like, oh my god, I have that, and I have not used it. I've used up 1 or 2 of these in my lifetime, since it came out, really, in my lifetime. You would think this has existed my whole life. But I have used up 1 or 2 of these. I never used the highlighter part. Does anybody use the highlighter? I know one makeup artist or makeup YouTuber that loves this. That's her favorite highlighter. She's, I think, even used it on her wedding day, but this is a powder, really. Like, there's no highlighter action in it whatsoever. But I do love the contouring aspect of this palette. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose. A tiny little bit. In case you didn't catch it, it's the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. In case you didn't catch that. Okay. Now, Whew. These brushes shed so much. Okay, I'm going to go in with the blush now before I go in with my bronzer. And the blush that I'm using is Patrick Ta Not Too Much, and we're going to go in with the powder first. And I'm just gonna use a tiny little bit. Look how pretty that is. It is such a nice blush for like an everyday look, but also when you don't know what to put on, this is great. This matches every look, in my humble opinion. So pretty. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with actually my powdered bronzer. And for powdered bronzer, I just yesterday, I got this Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. Mine is in 03 Chocolate Sundae. And it says deep skin, but guys, I do not have deep skin at all, clearly. And this one matches me perfectly. I'm gonna use, I know it's pigmented because I have used it already, but I'm gonna use just a tiny touch. I'm gonna get my ears a little bit, and you see, like, I have, my face is on. I feel like it smells so good. It is such a pretty bronzer. It's rivaling my Physicians Formula, which we all know is my favorite bronzer of all time. Okay, my bronzer came out so good that I don't even think I need to sculpt out. Okay, let's go in with the cream blush. And oh my god, look how pretty that is. Wow. I'm also going to use a cream highlighter, which you guys have seen me use a million times before, but I kind of only whip it out during fall time because it is a little bit of a fall-y color, I guess you could say. I don't know. But what I'm talking about is this Westman Atelier Super Loaded Tinted Highlighter, and mine is in the color Peau Descente. You know, it's one of my faves. It has made it into many a faves videos. And it's this beautiful, beautiful, like rosy, peachy. I don't even know how to describe it. I just know that it's gorgeous. Watch this. Watch this magic unfold. It just makes the skin look so good. Put a little bit on my brow. It is just such a beautiful product. I absolutely adore it. A little bit on the nose. Cupid's bow. And my cheek just looks so beautiful. Okay, let's finish up the eye. Honestly, I don't want to do much for underneath the eye. I don't want to kind of mess with the balance that I have right now. So I'm going to use this tapered brush that I used before, and I'm going to put this color in and just run it a little bit underneath. And kind of bring it out over here. And that's all I'm thinking of doing for the eye. That's it. Okay, eyes are done. I even gone ahead and put on mascara, and I don't know if you could see, but it is green, and I use this Maybelline Sky High mascara in, oh gosh forbid if they would put a little little bigger names on these things. Well, whatever. It's this green one. I can't read that, friends. Okay. So now that the face is done and everything is done, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the lips. And for the lips, I was thinking of doing a little something fun. Okay, so I want to recreate that little Victoria's Secret look that everybody's so obsessed with. And I saw a video of Evelina Stefanova posted on her YouTube, so I'm going to recreate it. I don't have all the things, so we're just gonna wing it. This one is Bobbi Brown lip pencil in Cocoa. I'm gonna align the whole lip. I don't overline my lips, so she does. I don't like that look on me, but step one done. This is like a 5-stepper. Then we're gonna go and use this Makeup Forever Artist color pencil in Wherever Walnut, and we're gonna go underneath. We're gonna give it like a warmer look. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to kind of buff it out. And then what she did is she used a red blush, but the only red blush I have is the Patrick Ta She Left Me on Red, and that's a red. And she didn't really use a red one. She used a Giorgio Armani blush, and it was like a cooler tone dark pink. And the only closest thing that I could think of in my collection is this Gucci one. So this was a limited edition holiday in Intense Ruby from last year. Not sure if they have it, but she basically got some on her brush and then went around her lip like that. And it was just so pretty. Okay, and then she used the gloss that they used on the Victoria's Secret show, which was a Pat McGrath gloss. Escapes my mind. I have 2 glosses that I had in mind. I do have a Pat McGrath gloss, and it's called Future Femme, and it is a very, very shimmery gloss, but has kind of a white, very, very creamy white undertone to it. And then I have this beautiful MAC Lip Air, which is more like on the brownie side. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna mix the two. I feel like that's gonna give me the perfect combination. So I'm gonna mix them on the back of my hand because I don't want to mix it on my lips and put other colors into my lip gloss. I'm just weird like that. I really hate doing that. So that's 1 little goopy goop, and then 2, and I'm gonna mix it with my finger and put it on my lips. Okay, so here they are. Let's mix them together. They're a little bit of a different consistency, but it's okay. The MAC Lip Air is a lot lighter. Oh my goodness. That is pretty. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? What do we think? Last but not least, I'm gonna set this whole face up because, believe it or not, I'm going to the gym right now. Yes, I will hit up the gym with a full beat on, but I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. It is the best. A little bit heavy on the hairspray smell, but it will hold my makeup. It will hold your makeup down. It is not going anywhere, friends. So I am done. I think my makeup came out gorgeous. I think it's giving fall with the green eye and the little, I don't know, blush. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite fall colors for the eyes? I want to do maybe 2 more. I was thinking orange, and then I was thinking maybe like a maroon, deep purples. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.